진행이 원활하지 못할 수 있으니 그 점 양해 부탁드리고요. 보통 법명 수여식을 이 법인절날 함께 하게 되는데 팬데믹으로 인해서 내년에 다 같이 축하 속에서 하기로 했습니다. 또한 설법은 자타원 김복인 교우님께서 영어로 하실 예정이고요. 그리고 한글로 마지막에 잠시 요약해서 하실 예정입니다. 그리고 성가는 모두 한글로 할 예정입니다. 참고하시기 바랍니다. I appreciate your understanding if today's celebration is not as smooth as it is when we are together in the meditation hall. Please bear with me. Usually the Dharma name ceremony is held on Dharma Authentication Day, but this year we decided to postpone it so that we can celebrate all together in the temple next year. Today's Dharma talk will be given in English and summarized in Korean. The singing will be in Korean. Let us listen to the sound of the gong and observe our peaceful mind. 경종 소리 들으시며 함께 마음을 챙기면서 바라보겠습니다. 반갑습니다. 구인 선생님들과 대종사님의 순이라 정신의 정신을 새기는 날인 오늘 법인절 경축식을 시작하겠습니다. Welcome. The day of Dharma authentication is the day of self-transformation to become a mature spiritual practitioner. A day of celebration that offers us an opportunity to reflect upon our selfless spirit and realize the great potential in each and everyone's mind. 원기 4년 대종사님의 지도하에 사무요한의 서원으로 창생을 제도하겠다는 굳은 서원을 다짐하는 날이며 법계의 인증을 받은 경사로운 법인절 날입니다. 저희 모두 그날을 기억하고 그 정신을 되새기며 지금부터 원기 105년 법인절 기념식을 시작하겠습니다. With a pure and single mind, let us start the celebration of the day of Dharma authentication. 다 함께 교가 2장을 함께 부르시면서 시작합니다. We are going to sing the hymn, the Song of Wonbuddhism in Korean. 답변하시는 교우님들께서는 앞으로 나와주시기 바랍니다. We will offer prayer and chanting. To return to our calm and pure nature, let us meditate for a few moments, followed by chanting and prayer. 영주 21도 입정 후에 함께 하겠습니다. 올립니다. We will offer prayer. Please join your palms together. Reverend Kim will read prayer in Korean first, and Reverend Inson Park will read in English second.
법인절 기도문. 오늘은 본교 법인의 경제를 맞이하와 저희들 교도 일동은 삼가 제기하옵고 일심을 다하와 법신불 사원전에 고백하옵나이다. 대범 사람은 양심이 근본이요 물질은 그 끝이며 세상은 도덕의 근본이요 권모술수는 그 끝이오늘 아직도 시국의 본말이 그 위를 다루지 못하고 인심이 그 본처에 돌아오지 못하여 선하가 크게 혼란하오니 파옵건대 법신불 사은이시여 하루속히 이런 대도가 권위를 얻고 정법 도량에 널리 세상에 드러나서 시국의 본말이 위를 바르고 대중의 회복이 길이 고르게 하여 주시옵소서. 제생의세의 중대한 의무를 가진 저희들은 오늘 법의 날을 경축하며 9분 선진을 비롯한 초창기 선진님들의 대신성, 대판결, 대봉공 정신을 오롯이 이어받아 이 회상을 한량없이 발전시키고 이 정신을 후진 만대의 길이 상속시키기로 다시 서원하오니 앞으로 동참하올 수많은 동지들도 다같이 이 서원 실행에 원만한 노력과 성과를 보게 하여 주시옵소서. 일심을 모아 받들어 기도하옵나이다.
O Dharmakayagara fourfold grace. Today we celebrate Dharma Authentication Day, which recognizes the self-transformation and conviction of Sotaesan's 9 disciples. Together to recognize the founding spirit of Wonbuddhism, a willingness to dedicate ourselves fully, without any hesitation, to the Dharma, to the path of enlightenment, and to all sentient beings. Grace of heaven and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings, grace of laws. The world and its people are suffering greatly this year. The pandemic has shown us how interconnected we are, from one side of the globe to another. In this country, the feeling of division and hostility towards each other is growing. We human beings hurt each other because of our greed, anger, and delusion. As Buddhist practitioners, we know that we are not separate from one another, and therefore those who cause harm are in turn harming themselves. May we, with wisdom and understanding, expand our infinite loving kindness to be compassionate and live harmoniously with all people, even those who harm us. We believe in the principle of impermanence, that eventually this virus will pass. This discourse will pass. In this time of uncertainty, it is important that we do not lose hope. Therefore, may our practice be as steadfast as Sotaesan's 9 disciples. May the flower of selfless love, compassion, and public service blossom in our hearts. This we pray and bow 4 times with one mind and heart.
사배 함께 하십니다. 독경이 있습니다. 독경은 일원상 서원문은 한글로, 반야심경은 영어로 합니다. We will chant 일원상 vow in Korean and the heart strength in English. Please refer to the chanting book. 다음은 설법 말씀 받드리도록 하겠습니다. 매주 선악대학원 총장님이신 자타원 김복인 교우님께서 오늘 설법 말씀 해주시겠습니다. The Dharma talk will be given by Reverend Bok-in Kim, the president of One Institute.
반갑습니다. 벌써 6개월이 된 것 같아요. 이렇게 팬데믹으로 서로가 만나지 못하고. 오늘 저는 설교를 영어로 하고 끝으로 제가 요약하도록 하겠습니다. Welcome everyone who join in virtual celebration of Dharma authentication. It has been 6 months since we are required to do social distancing. So it's quite a different world we are living now. Though we don't have the celebration for conferring the Dharma name, but I would like to congratulate friends who received Dharma name on this special celebration. So your Dharma name is your inner commitment and also our communal solidarity to encourage and witness your dedication. So I will start with briefly my description related to the pandemic crisis. So the first is we need to understand the current world situation more comprehensively. And also we need to understand the realization of the cause why we arrive at this crisis. And also we need to own responsibility for this crisis, individual level and also collective, the global level. So when we are considering this crisis, this critical moment, I realize that, and also I ask, what matters the most? Each individual needs to be awakened in order to really overcome this crisis individually and globally. So, in order to be awakened, the importance and relevance of Won Buddhist teaching and spiritual cultivation, spiritual practice are needed the most and also very urgently in this time. So I would like to walk through the teaching of Wonbuddhism in a more historical context. This year, 2020, Won Buddhist era 105, is the year Sotaesan declared the basic teaching of Wonbuddhism. If you see a doctrinal chart, so the basic teaching the Sotaesan declared. So a year before, 104, 1919, in that year, the 9 disciples' utmost prayer resulted in Dharma authentication, that miracle. And a year before, the Sotaesan started Levi project with his disciples, 9 disciples. So Levi project continued for a year, and then we got the 20 acres of land in very poor sea area sealand areas. And then a year before, the Sote-san formed Savings Association, the trust fund. So he prepared the fund to do the Revi project. So the disciples refrained from drinking and smoking and any wasting money and save even the little, but save day by day. So that created the fund, and then with that fund, the Levi project started. And a year before, the Sote-san, after his awakening, he met 40 people who are interested in learning, and then from those 40 people, he chose 9 disciples, and those 9 disciples are the founding disciples of Wonbuddhism. So Sote-san started with his awakening 1916, the Wonbuddhist era, 0 or 1 year, and then he formed the founding disciple, 9, and then with those founding disciples, he started to save money, form the saving association, while he's teaching them the Dharma, and then with that money, he had the Levi project completed, and then the 9 disciples at most, the prayer resulted in Dharma authentication, the miracle. And so this year is 100 years ago, after the prayer, Sote-san moved to another place, Pyeonsan, and then there he declared the basic teaching of Wonbuddhism, which was shown at the doctrinal chart. So it is very significant and important year of Wonbuddhism. So what are the basic teachings? Yes, it is in the doctrinal chart, and it is in the doctrine section, the principle book, and also it is in the essential dharmas of daily practice you are reciting daily. So the basic teaching is for the Wonbuddhist kind of the practice man, faith and practice man. So the threefold studies and 8 articles and fourfold grace and 4 essentials. So when Sote-san declared those basic teachings as the essential teaching as a practice in faith man, he gave an analogy. All right, fishers or fishermen wants to catch fishes. Then can the fisherman catch fish by bare hand or bat? No, the fisherman needs fish net. So his teaching, his basic essential teachings are like fish net. So with this fish net, with this essential teaching, Sote-san would like deliver all people, all sentient beings. So this teaching is very larger and also very effective. So Mahayana, great vehicle, a big vehicle. So that's his basic teaching he declared. Then let's think about how relevant the teaching is to us, to the individual. So I said threefold study and 8 articles. Those are how to strengthen myself. And those threefold studies is cultivation of spirit, inquiry into human affairs and universal principles, and choice in action, and then belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. So with this, we are strengthening ourselves. And then, how about fourfold grace? This fourfold grace is how to relate to others. Grace of heaven and earth, so how to relate with the nature, and grace of parents, and grace of fellow beings, and grace of laws. These days, we talk about a lot how we are in danger in terms of polluting the natures and, so the earth, the nature is crying. So we don't really relate well to the grace of heaven and earth and grace of nature. So that's the area we need to really reconsider. And of course, all our other graces, we need to consider how to relate. And then 4 essentials is how to contribute to the society. So based on self-nature, each individual contribute his or her expertise to well-being of society. So we are social, animal, and then we are related with fellow beings, and we are situated in society. So how to relate to the society and how to contribute to the society. These are the 4 essentials. I don't really go in detail, just briefly, just naming, developing self-power, the primacy of the wise, and educating others' children, and venerating the public spirit. Those are 4 essentials. So 1920, the Wonbuddhist era, 5, Sotaesan declared the basic teaching of Wonbuddhism. And then 72 years later, in celebration of Sotaesan's centennial birth, Venerable Sotaesan reminded and emphasized the basic teaching again. So the Master Desan reminded us and emphasized the basic teaching as a formula for world peace to guarantee human right and equal world. So here, this basic teaching is not just for individual level, it's a formula for world peace. So in order to have world peace, I think those are 2 important elements. One is all humans are given right, and that equal world are very important. And then those Sotaesan's teaching is that formula. And Master Desan, he talks about basic human rights in terms of 3 ways: protection from poverty, disease, and ignorance. So basic shelter and food are provided, and basic health care are provided, and equal opportunity for education need to be provided. So providing these basic human rights to all people on the earth is not just one superpower nation, USA's role, or any single nation's role. Each nation, its government, religions, non-profits, and profits need to work together in cooperation. So this formula, Wonbuddhist formula, can be applied to each and every areas in order to have that world peace. So the Wonbuddhist temple and Wonbuddhist scriptures are the means to learn and practice and implement a formula for the world peace. So the basic teaching need to be practiced by me, not for others, by me first. So the basic teaching is practiced in my daily life. So Sote-san say very clearly and also very succinctly stated in essential dharmas of daily practice. So number 1 to 4 is mindfulness practice, regardless of time and place. And number 5 is life of gratitude. We need to practice me first, and then life of self-reliance, and life of continuous learning, and life of unconditional giving and teaching, and then life of benefiting others, society and world. So those are a formula for world peace. When I think about the healing modality, healer in East Asian medicine modality seems a bit different. When we heal myself physically and psychologically, the first person knows me the first is me. So I know me more than anyone else if we have a deep insight. So, even though medical doctors, MDs, they have licensed professional, but me, I think I'm the first kind of doctor for myself, for my psychology and for my health. So here, these basic teaching of Wonbuddhism is cure for my health and also cure for my sickness. So cure my problems. What problems do I have? Resentment, greed, laziness, ignorance, or attachment. We can list, many problems. So with this teaching, I become the healer of myself. And then I can provide helping hands to others. So my experience and skill in my mind practice can reach out to whom I work with, whom I serve, my family, my work, and society. So now I'll summarize in Korean briefly. 올해는 교감 100주년 선포를 하신 해입니다. 그래서 대종사님께서 사막팔조와 사은사요를 공부요도와 인생요도, 그래서 인생을 가장 요긴한 법으로 밝히시고 일상에서 수행하도록 일상수행요법을 저희에게 대조케 하셨습니다. 대산종사께서는 대종사님 탄신 100주년에 사막팔조 사은사요를 교법 선언으로 해서 내리셨습니다. 그래서 주세불께서 밝혀주신 주세불이신 대종사께서 밝혀주신 사막팔조 사은사요는 평화의 세계, 보호의 세계, 균등의 세계를 이뤄나갈 주세법이다 라는 교법의 선언을 대종사님 탄생 100주년에 대산종사께서 해주셨습니다. 그래서 저희들은 저희 각자가 자신의 마음병을 치료하는 의사가 될 때 다른 사람의 마음병을 치료에도 도움이 될 수 있는 선명자라는 그 커다란 말씀을 새기면서 정말 이 뜻깊은 법인절에 또 법인 100주년, 교감 100주년 선포를 생각하면서 제가 끝으로 평화는 나로부터라는 의미의 짧은 노래를 하나 제가 준비를 했습니다. I'm going to sing a little song, tells and promise I'm the first for the peace, then peace will prevail. So that song I will share with you and I will conclude my 나 하나 꽃피어 나 하나 꽃피어 불밭이 달라지게 말하지 마라. 나도 꽃피고 너도 꽃피면 온통 풀밭이 꽃밭이 되는 것을, 꽃밭이 되는 것을. I am the first for peace, I am the first for peace, then peace will prevail, then peace will prevail. Thank you.
설교 말씀 감사합니다. 그리고 노래도 감사합니다. Thank you for your talk and thank you for your singing. We are going to sing the hymn together, the Song of Dharma Authentication in Korean. 법인절 노래 성가 38장입니다. 함께 부르시겠습니다. 이상으로 원기 105년 법인절 경축식을 원만히 마치겠습니다. 온라인을 통해서 나나 이 자리에 함께 해주신 모든 분들께 다시금 감사드리면서 늘 은혜가 충만하시기를 기원드립니다. Thank you for joining us for this special service today to celebrate the day of Dharma Authentication. Usually, the Dharma name ceremony is held on Dharma Authentication Day. This year, 3 of our temple members George Lewis, Kiran Patanka, and David Ju will receive the Dharma name for their commitment to follow the path of awakening. There will be, however, in order to celebrate together in the temple with all Sangha members, so their celebration ceremony will be postponed until next year. But definitely this year they will receive. Actually, next week they will receive the Dharma name, but the ceremony will be postponed to next year. So may we all renew our spiritual commitment and live with grace, happiness, and healthy through today's service. Thank you very much. This concludes today's service. 이상으로 경축식 원만히 마치고 해야겠습니다. 좋은 주말 되십시오.